I have never seen anything like this, maybe ever. A soaking wet Donald Trump. Why can't they turn up the AC? It's his own house, after all. A soaking wet Donald Trump, who has barely left his home in the month since he declared he was running for president. Why isn't he leaving his house? We don't know. Was interviewed by his own lawyer as if she's a news anchor journalist on OAN. And it still was a disastrous interview. Christina Bobb is an anchor on OAN, One America News, and she is one of Donald Trump's lawyers who tried to run interference during the entire FBI Mar-a-Lago search warrant. She interviewed Trump as if it's just a journalist, and it was still so humiliating for Donald Trump. Why is he always soaking wet? We don't know. Is it hyperhidrosis? Is it flop sweat? We just don't know. Listen to this first segment.
Select committee. They're looking at everything other than two things. They don't want to know about Nancy Pelosi turning down 10,000 soldiers because
she didn't. Nancy Pelosi did not turn down 10,000 soldiers. Trump insists he asked for 10,000 soldiers. There is not a shred of evidence that Donald Trump made that request for January 6th.
She doesn't look like the look. Now, if you had 10,000 soldiers for, hundreds of people, they wouldn't have gotten anywhere near the place. It would.
Now, consider how funny it is that when it comes to the turnout in general on January 6th, Trump says there might have been 1 million people at his speech, at which he encouraged them to go to the Capitol. But now he says, well, there were only a few hundred people at the Capitol. Now, of course, both are lies. There were not 1 million people at his speech. And there were way more than a few hundred people. There are 700 defendants who allegedly committed crimes at the Capitol. There were, of course, thousands, tens of thousands of people. But every number Trump gives is a lie.
There would have been no January 6th. There wouldn't have been a January 6th.
That might be the problem.
Oh, no. Well, there are a lot of people that think they wanted it, but...
She's trying to help him. But he won't take the life preserver.
But if you had soldiers circling, and I recommended it strongly.
That's a lie.
But it's her decision. She's the one that has to make the decision.
That's also a lie.
And nobody likes talking about that. But we recommended because I knew that a lot of people were coming down. They were coming down because they thought the election was rigged.
We know.
And they were right.
Yeah.
But that's why they were coming down. And that's why they don't want to talk about that. And they don't want to talk about the rigged election. All they want to talk about is the people. And those people are being...
We just keep focusing on all of the people that Trump motivated to commit acts of violence and criminality, but not the fact that the election was rigged, because the election wasn't rigged.
Many of them are being treated unbelievably unfairly. Compare that to what happened in the riots where Black Lives Matter and Antifa killed people. They killed people.
I have found no evidence that Black Lives Matter and Antifa killed people. There's an article that's a couple years old from The Guardian, which says anti-fascists linked to 0 murders in the U.S. in 25 years. That data has changed. There is now 1 homicide in the U.S. that has been tentatively linked to a self-described anti-fascist. I don't think it's convenient to Trump to compare the numbers to right-wing violence in the United States. Let's go to a little bit more of this interview, and it is really wacky.
I think Biden would look as obviously bad as
This is, by the way, a compilation from our friend Aaron Rupar.
Does if it hadn't been so starkly contrasted with your huge success of an administration.
Well, it's incredible.
That's a beautiful journalistic question, huh? Your administration was so good. Is that part of why Biden looks terrible?
The Keystone Pipeline, Keystone XL.
Yeah.
It was all done. They were starting. And the sad part is that's a union job. And the union head endorsed Biden. And immediately after he gets into office, he terminates the Keystone Pipeline.
Right.
And that union should get rid of that guy. And I'll guarantee you the union workers voted for me. I bet you most of them voted for me. But
I bet you they didn't.
the head of the union endorsed Biden, and then Biden terminated it immediately. He didn't say said he was going to look it over, right? But he didn't. It was another lie. See, that's the big lie, not us. They're the big lie.
It's just free word association. And Christina Bobb is desperate to help, but she just can't.
And they're the big lie on the election, too, not us. It's the exact opposite.
Right.
And then you have the unselect committee. They're looking at everything other than two things.
Yeah. So then that's the segment we already saw. Let's skip forward a little bit to just a little more.
Minneapolis, they burned down. Look at what happened in Seattle, where they took over a big part of the city.
Yeah.
And Portland, just like people put up wooden storefronts because they get knocked down as fast as they put them up, and people are getting killed. And nothing happens to those people. And yet, with the other, it's like incredible. Not only nothing happens, you have people, Democrats, trying to get bail money to get them out when most of them aren't in jail anyway, so it doesn't matter. But compare that treatment with the treatment that these people are getting, and it's just a very, very unfair situation.
It's just all over the place. Trump now cares about pretrial detention when it comes to the people that committed acts of violence defending him.
Right, sir. And I know we're almost out of time, but I wanted to ask you one more.
As riveting as this is, sir, we are almost out of time. Trump's like, I'll stay for hours. I'm not doing anything. I don't leave my house.
This is just one of the many great pictures that you pulled for your book about the rallies.
Oh, God.
What do you think about the rallies? I know you have one coming up in South Carolina.
South Carolina. We have another one coming up in Georgia very soon. No, the rallies are incredible. The rallies, honestly, and you know it because you go to some of them, they're bigger now than they were before the election.
That's, of course, untrue, and Donald Trump does appear to be getting back into the rallies. What the point of the rallies will be, we don't know, but at least in theory, he's a presidential candidate. I guess he'll talk about the fact that he's running. Wacky stuff, as delusional as ever. Let's talk about one bit of not so good news for the failed former president. You love nonfiction books. You love learning as much as you can about politics and economics and history and science, but you just don't have the time to read every book that you want to read. That's why I'm such a big fan of Blinkist. It's the app that takes thousands of nonfiction books, boils them down into an explainer that you can read or listen to in 15 minutes and get the most important insights from the book. You take a topic you've been wanting to explore and you can consume 10 books about it in an afternoon. It gives you a meaningful overview and insight into what other books you might want to read in full. I just read Welcome to the Universe. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson's latest book. That's exactly the type of book that I would love to have the time to read, but my stack of books is already so big. My girlfriend and I also use the Blinkist Connect feature to share and discuss books with one another with one account, and it makes a great last-minute holiday gift. You can try Blinkist free for 7 days and get 25% off a subscription at Blinkist.com/Pacman. The link is down below.